You ever notice how the world expects men like me to have all the answers? I mean, I've been called the Wolf of Dubai, the guy who can turn sand into gold, build towers out of air, shake hands with royalty by noon, and bankrupt a rival by dinner. But none of those boardrooms, none of those billion-dollar deals, none of it prepared me for the night I realized I couldn't reach my own daughter. Yeah, that's the punchline, right out of the gate. You want to talk about a man being brought to his knees? Let me tell you how a stranger with a weathered passport and a soft voice did what money and power couldn't. After my wife died, Allah just slipped away. My little girl, who used to twirl in silk hallways and giggle at bedtime stories, turned into a ghost overnight. She stopped speaking, stopped looking at me, stopped even existing in the world I knew. Doctors in 3 countries said autism. Therapists in 6 accents called it trauma, regression, loss, you name it. I threw cash at every problem like it was another merger, built a sensory wing in the house, flew into so-called best from Boston, Zurich, wherever. Nothing. Isla just sat by her window, humming to herself, rocking like she was trying to disappear. I swear, I'd have traded every oil well I owned for 5 minutes of her laughter. Then along comes Fatima. And listen, I was skeptical from the jump. No degrees, no letters after her name, just a faded clinic reference from Ghana and a smile that was somehow both tired and gentle. My sister, Amal, found her through some post, said, give her a week. Not to fix Isla, just to be with her. Desperation will make you believe in miracles, I guess. I agreed. 1 week, no promises, no therapy talk. First day, Fatima barely spoke above a whisper. I'm not a miracle, sir. I just try to listen. And I thought, great, a philosopher nanny. But she didn't push, didn't prod, just sat cross-legged on the floor, humming old songs. Sometimes she'd roll a beaded ball across the carpet. Sometimes she'd just sit in the sun and let Isla be silent. It was weird, no agenda, no strategy, just presence. But by day 4, I started noticing things on the security feeds. I had cameras everywhere, because control is my drug of choice. Fatima laid out a blanket, set up a mirror, and just mirrored Isla. Rocked when she rocked, hummed when she hummed. No demands, just this quiet invitation. Then one morning, I'll never forget it, Fatima brings a little clay bowl, fills it with water, starts tapping a gentle rhythm, murmuring, raindrops, Isla. Raindrops speak to the flowers. Isla, my daughter who hadn't smiled in 2 years, she actually smiled. It was tiny, but it was real. I must have replayed that moment a dozen times that day, just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. It's funny, the more Fatima settled into the house, the less tense everything felt. Even the marble floors seemed warmer. She never pried, never tried to be part of the family, she was just there, steady as a heartbeat. And Isla started changing, not in leaps, but in little shifts, tapping a drum, picking a purple ribbon, inching her way back toward the world. But, you know how it goes, nothing gold stays. The night of my annual gala, oil magnates, diplomats, the whole polished crowd, my sister corners me, starts in with rumors. Says Fatima once worked for a family in Ghana, kid went missing, never found, whispers follow her everywhere. I wanted to shut it down, but the seed was planted. Later that night, while the chandeliers sparkled downstairs, I watched the feed, Fatima upstairs, drawing with Isla, teaching her to hold a marker, guiding her hand. Isla turned, whispered, Ma. My heart just about broke in two. 2 years of silence, and my daughter's first word is Ma, to a woman I barely know. But then twist, right? My security chief shows me this strange footage. 3 a.m., Fatima wandering barefoot in the garden, holding something red. She stares straight into the camera, cold and still. Blood? Paint? No one knows. Suddenly, all the old suspicions flare up. Control, fear, doubt. I spiral, digging through hours of footage, watching every time she lingers in a hallway, every time she glances at a camera. Am I losing my grip, or is she hiding something in plain sight? So I call her in. She doesn't flinch, just stands there, calm as ever. I ask about the garden. She pulls out a little red scarf embroidered, frayed. Layla must have thrown it out the window. She cried for it, so I brought it back before dawn. Then she drops the real bomb. Yeah, she worked for that family in Ghana. Yes, a child went missing. But she was the one who found her after a seizure in the woods. Sometimes, she says, all a child needs is someone to listen. The kind of line that haunts you. Just when I think I'm finally seeing the truth, the phone rings. Ghanaian number. Doctor from the clinic Fatima worked at calls to warn me someone in my own house is digging up her past, spinning stories. She lost a child of her own, he says. But she has a gift. She hears kids everyone else overlooks. I'm reeling. Someone's sabotaging her. But who? Turns out, twist number 2, it's Amal. My own sister, worried about control, not just Isla's safety. She accuses Fatima of replacing my wife, warns me that I'm letting my daughter forget her mother. And just like that, I'm second-guessing everything. 2 days later, before dawn, chaos breaks out. Security wakes me. Fatima's been found in the library, holding my wife's old memory box, a thing so well hidden even my staff didn't know it existed. She says Isla led her there, whispering mama inside. And somehow, I believe her, but Amal's had enough. She has to go, she insists. I finally give in, ask Fatima to leave. Next 3 days, hell. Isla retreats, stops eating, stops smiling. When a therapist tries to use flashcards, she screams so hard it shatters me. That night, I'm back in the archives, replaying the footage, Fatima guiding Isla tapping the hidden shelf, a silent kind of communication I never understood. I realize I made the biggest mistake of my life. I call Fatima, voice cracking. You were right. Please come back. There's this long, heavy pause. Then she says, she's not broken. She just needs truth. Then, I'm already at the gate. Sunrise. She comes back, silent, steady. Isla, clutching her sunflower scarf, comes down the stairs, barefoot, walks straight to Fatima, touches her face, and whispers, safe. I break, right there in the foyer. For the first time, I let myself cry, not just for Isla or my wife, but for all the years I thought control was love. That morning, I call the staff together. Apologize, really apologize. Fatima's not just Isla's caretaker. She's family now. Even Amal, stubborn as ever, can't argue with what's right in front of her. One evening, after the dust settles, I ask Fatima why she came back. I never left. I waited for you to open the door. She tells me about her own daughter, Abina, lost to fever, how she sees her in every child who just needs to be heard. I finally get it. Love isn't about control. It's about being present. Months go by. Isla starts laughing again. Sometimes she talks, sometimes just hums, sometimes she just sits in the sun and listens. I stop needing answers and just let her be. Fatima stays, not as staff, not even as a friend, she's family. And one day, Isla calls me Baba for the first time in years, running across the garden barefoot, chasing butterflies. Nobody caught it on camera, but it's the moment I'll never forget. Yeah, there are still days that hurt. Nobody heals in a straight line. But I finally know what trust feels like. You can try to control the world, wire it up with cameras, throw money at every problem, but in the end, the only thing that breaks through is honest, patient love. So, let me ask you, when's the last time you really listened to someone who can't speak your language? Who in your life needs you to stop fixing and just show up? Drop your thoughts below. Argue with me if you want. Is trust earned or given? Did I do the right thing? Or was I just lucky enough to see what was right in front of me before it was too late? Let's talk about it, because maybe that's the only way any of us really learn what family means.